Hello and welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a great in-depth review of the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7. This tablet came out a little while ago in 2020, late 2020, and I'm going to be giving you my honest thoughts about this tablet. So in my opinion, when you're looking for a tablet, you have two options basically. You can go, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, you clearly want to get an iPad, and if you're in the Samsung ecosystem, you clearly want to get a Tab S model. And this is the latest one. This is the Tab S7. This is the base model I have, just the standard Tab S7 11-inch model. This is not the Tab S7 Plus, which I believe is a 12-inch, or a Tab S7 Plus is actually 12.5 inches. And it is much bigger than this one. I have actually seen it in person, and I do prefer the smaller form factor of the Tab S7. So as always, I'm not big on just listing out specs for an in-depth review, so I much rather just like put them up on screen really quickly and let you guys look at them, because you can just research specs on your own, but I can list them really quickly. In terms of the CPU, in this tablet we have a Snapdragon 865 Plus. We have an 11-inch display that's IPS. That's not OLED. Only on the Plus model do you get the OLED display. But I have to say, and I'll talk about this more in depth later, the IPS display does a fantastic job. It's 2560 by 1600, so you're going to be getting above 1440p resolution. It's 500 nits in brightness, gets plenty bright. It's 276 pixels per inch, or PPI. It has quad speakers on 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. It has an 8,000 milliamp hour battery, and I'll talk about battery life later. And it's got 6 gigabytes of RAM on the base model, but you can bump that up to 8 gigs if you want it on the higher models. It's rocking One UI 3.0 currently. In terms of camera setup, we do have a 5 megapixel ultra wide on the rear, and also a 13 megapixel regular wide camera, and this can shoot up to 4K 30 frames per second video. On the front hand side, we have an 8 megapixel front facing camera that can only do 1080p quality video. Okay, so this is just a test of the front facing camera. This is shooting at 1080p. And this is the audio quality you can expect, and the video quality. I think it looks pretty sharp overall, which I am impressed at. And this is the video quality on the rear. Autofocus seems to be pretty good at tracking objects, which I do like. Overall, I think this is a pretty good camera for a tablet. So as I said, the main panel on this is IPS. It's 1440p. And it also rocks a 120 hertz display. And I want to say I really want to emphasize the 120 hertz display. This combined with the Snapdragon 865 makes this phone feel absolutely blazing fast. And I'll show you some videos of that. Loading up applications, going web browsing, on social media, downloading PDFs, editing documents. Everything is so seamless on this device, and it runs incredibly smooth. I have not run into any lag, and I've had this tablet for over 4 months now, which is honestly really amazing, because when you think about Android tablets, you tend to think of them as budget tablets, but this one is actually a very premium tablet. And if I were to compare this to a iPad Pro, which is very comparable, but that one's also way more expensive than this. I got this one for around like $650 when it first launched, with some discounts that Samsung was offering. I'd say this is as good as an iPad Pro or even better, but honestly it depends on the ecosystem you're in. So the screen is absolutely fantastic. The 120 hertz is great. If you haven't experienced it, I'd recommend it highly, and once you experience 120 hertz, you can't go back to 60 hertz. In terms of storage, this comes with 128 gigabytes of onboard storage that is also expandable via micro SD card, which is fantastic. But if you want to pay a little more, you can bump that up, get like 256 gigabytes, or I think even 512. CPU performance, fantastic. As I mentioned before, the Snapdragon 865 Plus is absolutely insanely powerful, and there is no lag, there is no stutter, everything works seamlessly. So let's talk battery life. Battery life is a key component of every tablet, right? As I said earlier, this comes with an 8,000 milliamp hour battery, and that I have never really experienced any battery drain issues with this device. Obviously the 120 Hz display is going to be draining it the most, and if you want to get the best battery life, you can tone that down to the 60 Hz, which does give you the option. But overall, I was able to use this thing for hours, watching Netflix, watching YouTube, watching high-resolution videos, editing documents, going on social media, browsing the web, and I was having zero battery issues. I could use this the entire day, get plenty of hours of screen on time, way better than my smartphone could ever get because of that large battery size. But if you want an even better battery life, you should consider the Plus model, which has an even larger battery built in. But I have to say, with the IPS display, usually OLED, I think takes up more battery life than IPS, but overall battery life was more than what I expected it to be. Comfort, this is actually a very slim tablet overall. Very, very slim. I have the keyboard case with me right here, which makes it a little bulkier. But overall, very slim device, sleek, aluminum all the way around, all metal, no plastic. This just screams premium, and it's very comfortable to hold in the hand. It's even more comfortable when you get the actual stand and keyboard case for it, because then has a nice like leather grip to it, and it also comes with the stand to prop it up, so you don't actually always have to be holding it. So you can place it on the your desk or something like that and just prop it up if you don't want to be constantly holding your tablet. And I will say the hinge on this stand is phenomenal, very secure. And I was very surprised at how strong this hinge is. It hasn't gotten any looser since I actually bought the device. S Pen. So on the back, we have a little compartment for the S Pen. You just take it out. It'll connect to your device automatically. And I have to say, the writing on this, it's 9 milliseconds input latency for the S Pen. Very precise tip on here. And I have to say, drawing on the tablet is great. Taking notes on the tablet is great. I'd say this is even better than the Apple Pencil, which I have used. And it also comes with certain gestures, which you hold down. There's a button on here that gives you certain functionalities. You can make certain motions like this and screen capture. You can hold the button and go up to increase volume, go down to decrease volume. You can customize it however you want, and I really like that about Samsung products. So in terms of the keyboard, I know I'm not doing a full review on the keyboard in this video, but the keyboard on this tablet I did have some issues with it. Overall, if you're looking for a compact keyboard for a tablet, if you want to type on it, this is fine. Like the main thing I do like about it is the key travel and the clickiness of the keys. That's great. Having said that, it is a little too small for me, and I'm much more used to typing out on a laptop keyboard or a desktop keyboard, something with a lot more space in between the keys, and the trackpad was subpar at best. It wasn't that great at gestures and also just tracking my finger. There seemed to be a little bit of delay in actually recognizing my finger moving across the trackpad. But overall, it's a fine keyboard. And my biggest complaint, honestly, with the keyboard case is just that the magnets seem to be a little weak here and here, which attach to it. And there's no strict hinge here. Like, this is not solid, this is loose. So you can pull back this kind of easily, which I did find a little annoying, and I wish these magnets were a little stronger and this hinge was a little more rugged and sturdy instead of how flexible it is. But overall, this is a fantastic tablet. It does everything you want it to do. I think the main purpose of this tablet is for media consumption. That, combined with the great battery life and the 120 Hz panel, IPS panel, makes for a great experience. Even though it's not OLED, the colors are super contrasty, deep blacks, very good whites, and I honestly, I'm used to Samsung panels from their smartphones, and I'd say this is on par with that. You can't tell much of a difference at all. But if you're in the Samsung ecosystem, if you have Galaxy Buds, if you have a Galaxy Watch, if you have a Samsung smartphone and you want to link it to this and get messages on here, similar to how iOS does it, this is a great tablet for you, and I'd highly recommend it. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Going to be doing a lot more tech content over on this channel, so if you do enjoy it, make sure to share this, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next review. It should be the Galaxy S21. which I'm really excited about, and that paired with this tablet, both are going to have 120 hertz. So I'm kind of used to that as well, or I'm used to that now. I can't go back to 60 hertz. So I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.